Scandal for 12 review, which I actually don't know. I still am a bit confused about whether the episode was called Full Circle or Gladiators Don't Run. I'm pretty sure it's Gladiators Don't Run, but it was going to be Full Circle. Anyway, so last week I tried to do the review in chronological order, which didn't really work. So this time I'm going to do it on each character. So let's start with the first character we see, which is Abby! Darby was brilliant as Abby this whole episode. So it starts off and obviously Olivia and Abby are meant to have a coffee date, and she misses the coffee, and Olivia misses the coffee date. And then just that scene there, she's like sitting and she's like, okay, maybe she's just forgotten, maybe she's done something. But then she goes to the house and sees the apartment astray. Why someone hasn't just tidied it up a bit is beyond me. Jake could do it. Jake isn't doing much. He could clean up her apartment for her a little bit. But yeah, she sees that, and then she goes to OPA, and they're not telling her. And as I was saying to Darby last week, if you were at OPA, you would have been in the loop. And Abby knows this because then she goes to Fitz, and obviously she thinks Fitz doesn't know that Olivia's not okay, or thinks she's okay or something, so she's hesitant to ask Fitz. But then obviously Fitz tells her, and then she goes to Rosen, and oh my goodness, that scene is brilliant. She's just amazing. And he's like, you asked. Olivia is my best friend, and my best friend is kidnapped. And she's like, no, my only friend is kidnapped. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. She knows that if she's at OPA, she would have been in the loop, but because she's not at OPA, she's not in the loop, and she knows this. She's really upset about the fact that if she'd known, she would have been a gladiator for Liv, and she would have gone over the cliff, because Liv has done it for her countless times. And that scene was just perfect. And then Rosen says this stupid line of, she's not your only friend, which is a lie, because Rosen, you're not her friend. And I had this random thought that because how Andrew's going to walk, I'm like, well, how often do people actually get to walk? So I'm like, he's going to end up dead. I don't know. This is my hope. If he ended up dead, who would be the one to kill him or order the hit on him? I'm like, well, I think it'd be Abby, because Abby didn't get to be her gladiator. And if that would be her only opportunity left to be. But, I don't know if he'll get killed. I doubt it. I'm not sure. Anyway, so she was just amazing. And then we got Cyrus being back. Thank the Lord. He was just getting the stuff done and being on Fitz's side, and I think it's his way of coping with the fact that Olivia's not there. It's like, okay, I'm going to just be the best I can be and get this stuff done. So like his Lizzie Bear, I love that. He's talking to Andrew, and yeah, so that I loved Cyrus being Cyrus, and I loved Cyrus's scene at the end with Fitz, where he kind of pats him on the shoulder, and I loved that. And I also loved how in the room where Fitz shouts that then Cyrus is still on his side. I love that. And then I loved again Jake. Mama Pope was just, there was so much happening in this episode, I keep forgetting things. But Mama Pope was in there, and I love that she called Jake a white boy, because seriously, he is useless. And we could just see that Jake was just useless. Sure, he cut a couple of heads off, but whatever. And so the Jake, useless as always, don't really care. Huck and Quinn, well, obviously Huck lost it because Liv's not, he can't get to Liv. It was the biggest he's ever lost it. He might as well have just been painting the room red with blood. That's practically what he did. didn't even know there could be that much blood in a person. How I do not get nightmares from Scandal is beyond me. And then Quinn, Quinn was amazing. She had all her really good one-liners in there that I loved. And I also loved when Huck was going on about how they're going to chop off her fingers and make it till she's no person. Fitz doesn't even think of her as alive anymore. And that then she'll be dead. And I loved, it was what I was doing. I was sitting there going, Huck, just shut up, please just shut up. And then I was like, yes, when we hit him and punched him, because I'm like, you are an idiot. We are getting our Olivia Pope back, please shut up, because I cannot cope with the fact that you're like, she's going to be dead and Fitz is going to stop caring about her. Fitz is never going to stop caring about her, so shut up. But I loved all of that. I loved Mama Pope, although I'm glad she didn't really have that much to do with it. Hopefully she doesn't have any more to do with it. I don't know. I like Mama Pope, but she's not necessary for me. Anyway, and then Melly and Fitz had awesome scenes this episode. I loved their kind of friendship thing. Whatever their relationship could be described as, I love it. I loved all of it. I loved the beginning part where Melly was like, you'll get her back, and then the balcony scene. Okay, I love balcony scenes. Balcony scenes are amazing. All balcony scenes, and I loved it with the hooch, and he's like, whoa, this is strong, and she's just drinking it like, yeah, whatever. And I loved, it was such a weird scene, but I loved it because Fitz was like comforting her and hugging her, but then talking about Olivia, and it's like, what do you want? Live back home safe. I love that it was back home safe. He doesn't care if it's with him or anything. He just wants her safe, and I love that. It's just really good. And then obviously everyone should be on the Melly for President train if you weren't already on the Melly for President train before this episode aired, which I was. Okay, Melly for President. This is amazing. And then I loved. Okay, Sean. Yeah. You see, this is my thing. I still want Andrew to be killed. I was gonna say deaded. Yes, because in the beginning when Fitz was like, oh, what I would like to do is make it so he can't walk anymore. I'm like, yes, man, do that. But I love that he's letting him walk. Walk, because is he actually just gonna be like walk? But I'm loving he's doing that for Melly because he can see that she'll be a great president. I reckon if she does become president, he'll be a bit envious because his president has been such a mess. I guess that's what he gets for falling in love with Olivia Pope and not divorcing Melly and then marrying Olivia and moving them both into the White House. But anyway, I was just gonna say everyone's acting, all the writing, all the scenes was just absolutely fantastic, fan-icking tablet. Whatever am I saying? Anyway, mind-blowing good, like amazing, like they just keep topping the episodes. I don't know how they do that. But yeah, so every single person in that episode was amazing. So yeah, then Fitz, and then in the situation room where she's like, basically we're just gonna have to kill Olivia Pope, and he comes up and is like, we are not doing that. I was like, I literally went, whoa, I was like, whoa, like, whoa. Basically all I could say was like, whoa, like that was really good. And then, yeah, and then Cyrus, like how Cyrus was like, what the president says is what the president says. Obviously he's the president. Can someone actually just listen to him for once in his life that he's the president? Why does no one ever listen to him? Ooh, breathe, Kenya, losing your chill. And then I just loved it all. I loved then when he was in the room, the last scene in the Oval, where he's like, we need to get Olivia Pope back, not just because I love her. Like, yes. But also because of all these other reasons. And then we see Melly with the troops and with the coffins and all the families, and Cyrus, and that was just, I was crying. Okay, I cried twice this episode. I cried in that scene, and I cried for the Abby scene with Rosen. That was really good. The other times I was more like cheering on what people were doing. I was like, yeah, do that, yeah! And then obviously, the fantastic Kerry Washington. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of Olivia in this episode, but that's because they brought everyone else back into the episodes fully, so there has to be enough of them. Really, you could just get rid of the little bit of Jake and then Olivia could have more time. But she was amazing in the scenes she did do, in the scenes that she had, and I loved it. I loved her trying to play on the people's attitude, but sometimes she doesn't always know what people's dreams and hopes are. Not always. And I loved the thing, oh, I'll bite it off. I was like, yeah. So this episode was just amazing. They get better and better and get crazier and crazier, and I can't cope. Can you, Jada?